doesn't make sense for you to compete against. Calm down, listen to a brother who knows. But to calm down, listen to a brother who knows. But to calm down, listen to a brother who knows. But it doesn't make sense for you to compete against. Calm down, listen to.
Brothers and sisters! Brothers and sisters! I don't know what this world is coming to.
As the man said, once again, it's on. It's the End of the Bench podcast hosted by your boy, H-Rap B. I got a whole lot on my plate this week, man. You got turmoil in Pittsburgh. You got a lot of craziness going on in the NBA. You got people on TV talking about other folks' money, some things I've never seen before, man. The NFL is insane. The NBA is insane. I may have a special guest. I'm still waiting on him to reach out to me. It's going to be a whole lot of fun, man. People, get ready for this End of the Bench podcast. The next edition called The Backstabbers. The reason I call this edition The Backstabbers because you got people in the NFL and the NBA saying things they shouldn't be saying, doing things they shouldn't be doing. You got people almost having a fight in the middle of a show. You know what? I got the special guest coming through right now. I'm going to play the intro again, then we'll get started again. 1 second. How you doing, Mr. Elmore? Alright, I'm starting in about 20 seconds, and then we'll get started. Okay, I'll introduce you and we'll go from there, alright?
Calm down, listen to a brother who knows. But to calm down, listen to a brother who knows. But to calm down, listen to a brother who knows. But it doesn't make sense for you to compete against. Calm down, listen to.
As I stated, we have a special guest this evening. It is an esteemed guest. He is one of my favorite announcers, but he's more than an announcer. He is a former 10-year NBA vet. He was drafted by then the Washington Bullets, now they're the Washington Wizards. He's a forward center for the Pacers, the Kings, the Bucks, the Nets, and he ended his career with the New York Knickerbockers. 3-time ACC, All-ACC. He's still to this day the Maryland all-time rebounder, unless I'm mistaken, the ACC 50th anniversary team, top 50 players in Maryland history, actually ACC history, excuse me. He's a Harvard Law graduate. We can go on and on about who he is. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Len Elmore. Thank you, sir. Thank you for being a part of the End of the Bench podcast.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you. Mr. Elmore, thank you for all the things you've provided for us, the example you provided for us throughout the years. And it is a wonderful situation having you on the show. A lot of people do great things, but I think you've done great things on so many levels. You being a New York native, also going to a high school that who was preceded by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I'm quite sure there were other greats. How was it growing up in New York at this time? And let us know who you are and what you represent to even start the show.
I appreciate the opportunity to kind of reveal myself. But, I grew up in New York City, and, my parents were hard-working folks. I grew up in the projects in Brooklyn, and got a real job in the sanitation department in New York City, so we were able to move to Queens to a little house in Springfield Gardens, good working class black neighborhood. And, I have 2 brothers and a sister who kind of grew up, certainly weren't rich. I know what the welfare needs and the cheese tastes like. We didn't have to live off of it. But education was important to my parents.
Okay.
And extremely important in my development as a human being. But also, I started playing basketball when I was 15. I was really a baseball and football player, but in junior high school, somebody saw me playing with a bunch of guys who were, half my size.
Okay.
I was about 6'6".
Oh.
And then ultimately asked me if I wanted to play basketball. And so I said, absolutely, if I can keep the guys my size. So it took me over to Powell Memorial. Lo and behold, had a little bit of a tryout. And, center court, they threw the ball up to the tipped, and I'm still standing in center court because I didn't even know the rules. I didn't know which was a run. But, I'm one of those guys that has a view of myself. I never want to be embarrassed. And so after a year of winning the game, I was all city my junior year in high school. My senior year, school won the proverbial national championship in 1970 in high school. And I got to go to University of Maryland. And, from there, went to the league and started out with pitches in the ABA for 2 years before we were incorporated into the NBA. So, and that's where it went. Recognizing we didn't get paid like cats got paid today. I wanted a job. I wanted to have some underpinning as to who I was and have some future. So I wound up going to law school. I was fortunate enough to be accepted to Harvard Law. And when I got out, I was a prosecutor for several years in my hometown of Brooklyn, New York. And then I turned to private practice, got involved in television, able to stay in television for about 3 years. So I took 5 years off as an agent in private practice. I was representing pro players, basketball. We had 7 first-round picks in 5 years, including number 1 pick of Joe Smith for a period of time. And represented some football players. And I continued to, stay involved in the game, not only as an announcer, but on the night commission for inclusion athletic reform. Ran a company for the NBA and the NCAA called High Hoops Youth Basketball, something that I wish they had kept in place, simply because many of the problems that we talk about today with regard to college basketball might have been alleviated with some of the ideas that we had. But overall, that's been the life. Very fortunate to be married to the same woman for over 30 years. I've got 2 sons who are Ivy League graduates. One's a basketball coach, the other is the business school, but the NBA. So, life's been good. I've been blessed.
Oh man, that sounds like a wonderful life. You know what? I was gonna start off with athletics, but how was it going to Harvard Law at that period?
Well, it was interesting because I had been out of school for almost 10 years, but I tried to maintain philosophical habits. I read, I made sure that I was current on issues of the day. Had a passion for the law. I remember I grew up during the times of the climax of the civil rights movement.
Exactly.
And the war in Vietnam was raging. I thought the law could play a prominent role in social change, and I wanted to be a part of that. I didn't want to be on the sideline watching the parade go by. And I used to watch shows like Perry Mason and Descendants. I wanted to be that voice from the voiceless and try to give the power some power. But when I got to law school, I started to recognize that you had more power, more influence on the prosecution side. And it's not like, it's not like I was exploiting my community as, unfortunately some law enforcement do. But you can make some decisions that could benefit from protecting my community more so than, exploiting and vilifying it. And I found it to be very important. The problem is when you're helping a person like that, they don't pay you enough, and I was about to have a child living in Manhattan, so I changed over and become a lawyer in private practice.
Wow, that's interesting. Let's just take it back to Brooklyn then. It's the 60s, it's Brooklyn. I'm assuming the Black Panther presence is there because that was right around the New York 21 or whatever, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there are a number of folks out here who were made examples of. That was during the time when they had their counterintelligence
Right.
by the FBI. But growing up, by the time that the 60s come around, 64, 65, all the way through 68, when Tommy Smith, John Carlos named the Black Gloves, and Huey P. and Eldridge Cleaver and Bobby Seale was doing their thing out in Oakland. I was a teenager, and this is when your manhood started to kind of surface, recognizing who you were as a black man in America. I was also reading the autobiography of Malcolm X, and that inspired and also raised my consciousness and my pride as to who I was and what I represented, and also what my responsibility in my community was. And all of those influences. And people can say what they want about the Panthers, but when you take a look at what they truly did, they fed the hungry, they guarded their community lawfully. That's something that was extremely important, and at the time, it was vitally important.
Yeah, you know what, man? I don't even understand how people can even begin to say anything negative about that organization. You're talking about the WIC program, free lunch, and things of that nature. It baffles me that we live in a time in which people are telling us that this was they almost present them as a terrorist organization, and it really upsets me. I mean, I was born in 1970, and my parents both were very active in the movement. And I just, it truly baffles me when it's like, the irony is I live, just to give you an example of how close I am to the movement, I live 6 houses down from where Fred Hampton was assassinated. So
yeah, I mean, look, the tragedy, you don't understand how people can take them in such a light, but let's face it, man, it's black folks with guns.
exactly.
Think about what happened. Think about what happened in California.
Right.
NRA lobbied to pass open carry in California during that time, and the Panthers lawfully took full advantage of that. And what they did was they carried their weapons outwardly, and what they would do anytime there was a police encounter with a brother or a sister, they would walk, keep their distance safely, but they would have their guns at the ready. And you talk about some conservative folks like the NRA and even Governor Ronald Reagan. You talk about them all of a sudden decide, well, we need some gun control measures right now.
Of course.
That's what I say today. If you want gun control in America, arm every black individual. You'll get gun control quick.
Exactly. Treat the gun control situation like you would treat voter registration and watch the gun laws change immediately.
Yeah, exactly. But again, that's something that's almost too radical for people to get their arms around. That was the case back in those days. I mean, I've never owned a gun. Didn't have friends who owned guns, at least to my knowledge. But the idea of self-defense, particularly when you're a teenager and you've seen the difference between the civil rights movement and the Black Power movement, you recognize the importance of being able to defend yourself, and recognizing that turning the other cheek only went but so far.
Exactly. And see, before long you turned all the way around and you kicked in your butt.
You run out of cheeks.
Exactly. Exactly. Wow, I mean that has to be an extremely powerful time in your life. If I'm not mistaken, my nickname is H-Rap B because of H-Rap Brown. If I'm not mistaken, H-Rap Brown was a student at Maryland at one point, wasn't he?
He was in Maryland. I'm not sure if he was at the University of Maryland. He might have been at Maryland Eastern Shore, but it's still part of the University of Maryland system.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got the nickname because of how passionate I speak about things in our community and things as such. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and go to. You said you were initially into all sports. What was your favorite?
At the time, my favorite was baseball.
Okay.